Okay. So my next experiment, booze-wise, is going to be some kind of grain. I've never done grain before. Okay, I've never done grain on purpose before. I had a horse at one point years back, and I bought massive sacks. We're talking like 100-kilo sacks. Yes, it was a country where they didn't have health and safety, and it was full of grain. It unfortunately wasn't covered, my ex's daughter, and so it got damp, it got humid, and it fermented on its own to the point where everybody was fucked out the tits on the fumes. Anyhow, what I'm going to do, I don't want to do a 30-litre batch because I mixed all of my booze together because I had 6 different varieties. I had summer fruits, garlic, spearmint, all these different types, brown sugar, white sugar, and it was really nice. But I also had 6.5 litres of my molasses, which was nice, but the flavour was so strong that I couldn't really drink it because it was that much of a cloying in the back of the throat, even though it had been triple distilled, stuff added to it like garlic, and I carbon filtered. So I mixed all of it together. I kept maybe 1/4 litre of my brown spirits, which is really, really nice, my favourite. But so this has now got about 18 different ingredients in it, like juniper and all that sort of stuff. But it's really, really nice. You still got the back of the throat with the molasses, but it's only a little bit in the back of the throat. The rest of it is just really, really nice. So I've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've still got a good 12 litres, 13.5 litres. Yeah, I've got 13.5 litres left of my spirits. I'm getting through it. I'm really getting through it. The bone grinding in my left wrist, I've now got to keep it constantly banged because the bone is grinding on bone constantly. So if I don't keep it strapped, I can't even think about picking something up. So instead of doing a big batch, what I'm going to do is I've got these gallon containers that the molasses came in. I'm not going to make jokes about coming in gallon containers with my ex. Anyhow, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a kilo of grain from the supermarket. I don't know what. I'm just going to go and pick one. So I'm going to have a kilo of grain. It could be oats. It could be rice. It could be... I'm just going to experiment. This is not an expensive hobby. I mean, to buy a kilo of grain, you're probably talking £1. I'm also going to chuck in a bag of sugar. I know that when people do whiskies and that sort of stuff, they don't add sugar, but I'm going to. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to slow boil and then simmer the grain for maybe half an hour just to break it down a bit. I'm then going to put that, when it's cooled down a little bit, into a container. I'm going to put sugar in there as well. I'm not sure what sugar I'm going to put in, brown or white. I'll put in white sugar for this time because I want to try and keep the flavour of the grain. So I'll do that. I'll put that into my gallon container, top it up with water, probably another 3 litres of water to top it up. And then rather than putting it in immersion heater or whatever, because it is nearly October, but we're still at 19 degrees Celsius outside, 20, global warming. But I've got my little thermal, my little dunky thingy, thermostat thing. I can put that in and just plug it in and leave it to go for a week. And that way it'll cost me probably about 50p a day in electric. The ingredients are probably going to cost me, what am I going to do about yeast? Okay, I'll use standard kitchen baking yeast. I'm not going to bother using my turbo stuff. I've got 1 pack of turbo left. I want to keep that just in case I want to make a 25-litre batch. So I'll just use standard yeast and plop that in there and pop in me immersion heater. And I'll give that a week or so. And that's the plan. I can't leave the house at the moment, really, except for emergencies, because my back tyre is pretty much shredded from being on back roads at high speed. So I got to wait for a back tyre to come in. Rear pads they're not quite grinding metal, but they're not bloody far off. Front pads are, they are fucked. So I've got 3 sets of pads on order. I got a rear tyre on order. Still haven't got the service done yet because fuck it over in Willerton hasn't been asked to get back to me. So fuck them. I'm not desperate to get the plugs and the oil filter changed. But if I don't hear from him by, say, Christmas, fuck it, I'm just going to ignore the account and go back to where I was. He was buying booze off me, but I'd rather have my bike sorted. So that's the next project for Drinkies. It's going to be some kind of grain. I'm not going to buy her, do I? Fuck that shit. Yeah, some kind of grain. I'm going to chuck in a bag of sugar as well. And yeah, see how it goes.